Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome to another episode of our Inventions modded Minecraft Let's Play series. If you recall last episode, we continued working on Pneumatic quite a bit, and we got our assembly platform built and got that running and everything. Now since then, I've been doing quite a bit of prep work. I've been doing quite a bit of prep work with the base, and so I'm hoping that by next episode we will be moved into the base. That's my goal anyway. So I've pretty much got it all built out and lit up. I just don't have everything moved over and you know, to where we can actually live in it just yet. So and I have to say that this pneumatic setup will be kind of a centerpiece, and so once we get moved in, we'll spend probably an episode setting up you know, the elevator and everything in the middle of the base. But I also did do a little bit of mining. Oh, let me go grab my jetpack really quick. Not a whole lot. Once again, I didn't really find any diamonds, but that's okay. I'm thinking this episode what we're going to be working on shouldn't take too much as far as diamonds go. Let's see. Yeah, because we just need the laser. We don't need the drill yet for that. But this episode, we're going to be trying to actually upgrade our pneumatic system, because as it stands right now, you know, we're having issues with the air pipes, and they only hold, you know, up to the 5 bar, I believe, right? Yeah, up to the 5 bar. And if you notice right now, all of our pipes, some of them are over pressurized. We got 5.1 right there, and it's kind of dangerous actually. Let me actually let some of this out because I don't want them blowing up on us, so that'll be good. So let's go ahead and take a look at these advanced pressure tubes, and they're actually pretty easy to make. You'll just need the assembly platform, and then you can run either a block of compressed iron or a pressure chamber valve, or 20 pressure chamber valves, and get 8 of these. So let's see. Honestly, I think just the block of compressed would be the cheapest way to go on that. Oh no, you need the drill and laser for that. So we'll be doing the pressure chamber valves. But once again, those really aren't terribly expensive, all things considered. So we've actually got some in here, and don't I have some compressed iron? Okay, let me take a look here. That's set up right. Let me just throw some iron in there. And I might actually have some compressed iron down here in the chest, actually. Let's see, are we making bread yet? No. Okay, yeah, we've got some here, and we'll go ahead and throw in... let's go ahead and throw a stack in there, that's fine. I just, when I went mining, I found like over a stack of iron ore, so it's not too much of an issue. So we'll go ahead and get that going, and it actually doesn't take a whole lot of time to create this stuff. Let's see, well, usually. But we'll go ahead and get started with the making some of these pressure chamber valves, or pressure chamber, oh, it is the valves. I was thinking it was the walls for some reason. Alright. And then we can just set this stuff, let's see, it should be a program laser, correct? Yes. Alright, so we'll just throw our pressure chamber valves right there, and it should start running. There we go. And we'll watch it just for a second, because I love these things. I absolutely love these things. It's running a little bit slow. Oh, there it goes. I need to get some speed upgrades. Once we get the advanced tubes and stuff set up, we'll probably do some speed upgrades and some stuff, and get that set up. Alright. For some reason it's got 2 of the graphics there. I don't really know. Oh no, it's like 3 of the graphics. And here we go, do the lasering. But once we get the speed upgrades, it's actually really fun to watch because it looks more like an assembly line, you know, it's not the super slow. But it's kind of like they're doing like really delicate work right now. So anyway, while that's going, we'll also take a look at the advanced liquid compressor. Now this one's going to take blue plastic. Oh, you know what? I don't think. But I've got LPG in that, so we'll make some blue plastic really quick. It's not too much of an issue. Oh. There we go, and we'll run this down. What the? No. I made a mistake. Oh. There's our pressure tube. Somehow it ended up on the roof. Alright, so we'll just run that over. And let's grab a bucket of the LPG. Go ahead and send that through the... No. I want it... Oh, we've got diesel in there right now. How did we end up with diesel in there? Huh. Let's see. Diesel buckets. Oh, apparently we can make... Oh, that's for cooking. Okay. Let's see. Diesel can be used with redstone to make lubricant. Oh. That's right, we were making lubricant last episode for the... Oh, okay, that's right. Let me actually grab just a piece of redstone. Do I have some? No, I don't have any on me. We'll go ahead and finish up that lubricant, and we'll just kind of store it in a tank or something for now, because we will end up using that for upgrades. So it's not too big of a deal. All right. Throw that in there. And it's got kerosene in there right now. It's not what I was wanting it to make. But that's okay. We'll just empty it out. That's not really a big issue. We'll put that there. Okay. And we'll give it a second just to run through all the diesel. Okay. So now we should be able to put in our LPG, and then I believe it was coal to make the plastic, correct? Let's see. Liquid plastic. Yeah, okay. It is. And we'll just make a bit of this blue plastic. I forgot we were going to need that because when I went to start prepping for this episode, I was looking at the advanced air compressor, which this one doesn't take any blue plastic. So I was, I don't know what I was thinking because we're using the, you know, the liquid setup for all of this. So let's grab our LPG, get that going, throw some coal in there. Let's go ahead and throw a bit. Oh, yeah, I'm going to need more coal. For some reason I was thinking it did 1,000 millibuckets at a time, but that is not the case. Let's go ahead and just throw in 20 more of it. That's fine. Because I'm probably going to go ahead and make a bunch of blue plastic. Okay, yeah. Alright. Throw that in there. Oops. Okay, so we've got... Oh, you know what? Shoot. Had that on lock selection. We want blue plastic. Alright. And then this has charged up quite a bit. I did take it out actually earlier, and I was shooting animals and monsters and stuff with it. And it doesn't do any damage, like I said last episode, but it does knock them back quite far. It's actually really, really effective. And it's really good for clearing out weeds. That's actually what I used over at the base for a little while until it ran out of pressure, was that vortex cannon. So we've got our blue plastic now, and we should have our compressed iron. I tell you, oh yeah, I can fly over here. I want to get back in that room. Oh, there we go. We got our 64 compressed iron. And now we should be good to go. Let's get our pressure tubes. Those should be done building. And we got 16 of those. Now what we can do is trade out all of our piping here. So there we go. And we'll just start, changing over the system. Okay. Let's see. Now, if you recall, these standard pressure tubes only store, 5. I don't know if it's 5 pounds of pressure or what, but these new ones hold 20. Up to the 20 bar. So, they actually go up farther than this pressure gauge module will even read. So they are quite powerful. Now, just because your tubes will hold this doesn't mean you can just, boost your system up to the 20, because your machines at the moment will not, will not be able to hold 20. So if you're not careful, your pressure tanks and things like that will start to explode if you let it build up way too much pressure. So we'll just kind of change up the system. It is going to take quite a bit of these to change it all over, actually. But let's go ahead and take a look at making our advanced liquid compressors now. Yes, let's go ahead and take this one and run over here and set this up. Now this is going to create power at a lot higher rate than than the standard liquid compressor was, but that's why we're going to set it up for now with the redstone signal, because otherwise it will blow up our system. So it's probably just going to run when we really, really need it, and I want it. There we go. And let's actually go ahead and change at least this tube right here over. And this is now running. Let's go ahead and make sure and set the redstone behavior to low signal. And we can throw our speed upgrades in there. And it should begin running. Now if you notice, this does require, it does produce heat. So what we can do is, let me see, let me move this actually. Yeah, it's taking forever to break this thing. There we go. We'll move this over to right here, I think. And, or no. I don't think the redstone's going to interfere with it, but let's just go ahead and move it entirely. And we'll just set it on top of the tube there, because it really doesn't have to be down there. And we'll set it up right there. And then, do I have pressure tubes? Yes. Alright, so we'll run our pressure tubes over to the side here. We've got just enough of those. Let me snap that, set that there, and where's our wrench? Have we not made a wrench in this series yet? Oh, well, let's actually do that really, really quick. So the wrench, if you notice, those fluid conduits didn't want to connect together basically it's because one of them has a liquid and the other one does not at the moment. So what we can do, we'll go ahead and just make the Yeta wrench. It's the one from Ender.io, and just a basic gear, just some cobble and sticks, and then electrical steel, iron, coal, and silicon. Not really an issue. Why is this not? There we go. 3. Let's go ahead and make a few of these actually. And was it coal? Was it pulverized coal? I can never remember because there's so many different alloys from, so many different alloys from Ender.io that I tend to forget some of them from time to time. Right. Because there's like electrical steel, conductive iron, oh shit, I'm starving. Alright. And I do think the way things are going, this episode should be the last of our general Pneumaticraft stuff. Mainly just upgrading our things, and the rest of our Pneumaticraft stuff will be just specific episodes and things. Like when we set up our elevator, I'll do that on camera because there is, you know, a little bit to that, and I want to make sure that everybody understands, you know, the way that works and everything. Also, let's see. Oh, you know what? I need to actually get these sticks together for this. 4 and a bit of cobblestone. Is this about done? No. Also, let's see. And then basically just general upgrades, and then we're going to set up drones later on. Probably here in just a few episodes, because I want to show you guys, you know, really how awesome drones are, and we're actually going to be using those for probably for our farming and stuff. Because the base that we're going to build, since Inventions is a pack that really has nothing, like no magic mods or anything, it's specifically tech, if you don't include EE. We're going to make our base like really kind of techy and advanced looking, you know, in comparison to what I normally do, because it's pretty much everything's going to be revolving around the tech aspect. So I think when we go to set up our base, why is this not, why are you not connecting? Pressurized. Oh, these are just standard fluid conduits. These are not even pressurized. Okay. So we'll change that over. Alright. If you notice, these don't connect, but you can just right click on there and then they'll connect. So now this thing should be running. Okay. Yeah, everything's good. But yeah, we'll be going a bit more of a tech-based approach, and drones just look really, really cool when they're out farming and doing different things. They do look very, very advanced. So that's what we're going to be going with for a lot of our automation and stuff when it comes to this pack. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some more of these advanced pipes. Let's actually get quite a few of them. I'm not going to go through and upgrade all the compressors right now, because making plastic is just kind of a chore. And I just kind of wanted to show you guys how one of those are set up. Now, since we have that plugged up now, it is, like I said, producing heat. And the more heat that it produces, the slower it's going to run. So we need to figure out a way to vent this. But what we can also do is set up, you know, say like our plastic mixer or refinery or something next to it, and it'll actually draw heat from this instead of having to use the vortex tube, you know, every time. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move this vortex tube over here for right now so we can run the refinery. And we're actually out of oil, but I've got another tank over there that's been filling up. So, and we will just set this up. You don't really have to connect. You're not going to do anything. but I hate when pipes connect. That's one of my pet peeves, is when, you know, our pipes and stuff connect or places that they really don't need to connect to. Drives me insane. Alright, so let's get these pressurized fluid conduits, and we will just run them over like that. And that way any of the plastic that we create will go into this plastic mixer. And if you notice, the temperature has steadily rose to 129 degrees Celsius. And this temperature's kind of dropped off down. And so it's kind of, you know, it's kind of balanced these two machines' temperatures out. And so we can run the plastic mixer just, you know, with that liquid compressor. So let me go ahead and throw these in there. And see, this is still running, but we do have some more pipes. I kind of want to get all the piping changed over. Well, what's going on? I don't know what that was. Alright. Okay, I don't know what that was. If it does it again, I'll cut for a minute, figure out what the issue is with it. You gonna connect? Okay. Plug all this up. Alright. And we've about got everything changed over. Now when you hook up the... this is bizarre. Okay. When you hook up this to one of these upgraded pipes, you will notice... Let me... Can I pull this off? I thought I was afraid of that. I was afraid of it just busting the pipe. We're losing air pressure like everywhere right now. Okay, so if you take one of these pressure gauges and plug it into the new pipes, you'll notice that the you know, the buffer area here is quite a bit higher. So, you know, once we get the whole system changed over, you have to be aware of that. But we can actually set that up to only give this a redstone signal when that number reaches a certain amount. So once we get our machines and stuff upgraded, you know, to accept more pressure, then I believe this is out of pressure. Yeah. Then we'll change that over so that it can it'll only emit like the redstone signal, shut off the compressors at, say, you know, 16 or something like that pressure. So anyway, now that we've kind of got that stuff set up, I'll keep changing that over, probably off camera. I want to go ahead and cover right here this pneumatic helmet. Sorry. So we're just going to need a printed circuit board and then some air canisters. So printed circuit boards, I hate making these. You know what? I do not have black plastic on hand. Oh. Well, we can just change the colors of this, so it's not really an issue. I want some black plastic, and we'll throw in this orange and just kind of change it over. So it should take it, I don't know how hot it has to get. Change it over. Okay. Well, we'll give that a minute to kind of heat up and everything, and then we'll come back to that in a minute. So we'll need this unassembled PCB, and then we'll just need our transistors. So... see, we're going to need 3 black transistors and 3 capacitors. Redstone, compressed iron, and cyan. Oh, shoot. I was thinking it was blue. Alright, so we'll have to let this kind of heat up. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut camera, and then when I come back, because I'm going to let this system kind of build up pressure, and I'm going to change over some of the piping and everything, and then when I come back, I think we will look into that pneumatics helmet, and we'll also look into, let me find it here. right here this volume upgrade as well. So we'll make quite a few of these air canisters, which we've made those, so I'll make them just off camera and get them set up. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, welcome back. So I've got everything prepped here pretty much to get this going. So let's go ahead and, oh whoops, forgot to grab the transistors and capacitors out of there. And we'll just do this, that. Alright, so we got our printed circuit board. Now, let's see. For our helmet, we're also going to need 4 of these air canisters. They're pretty simple to make. They won't stack, but that's okay. So just do that. And then we can get our pneumatic helmet. Now this helmet is extremely useful. There's a lot of stuff that it'll do. Some of it we won't get into today because I just don't have the materials to make it. But you'll want to get it charged up. And you kind of want to be careful with this. It does have the same durability as, say, like an iron helmet. But really, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not hard to craft it up. So we'll let that charge for a second while we make a couple upgrades. So one of my favorites is this entity tracker, and we'll need some fermented spider eyes. See, I should have everything for this. Spider eyes. Tell you what, do I have these in the system? Yes. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab one more of these. And do I have any mushrooms? It's the only one I'm not entirely sure on. No, I don't. Okay, let me go grab a couple mushrooms really fast. Thinking maybe be able to find some up here. If it takes very long, I'll just cut camera and come back once I get some. Well, of all the things to not have. Okay. Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me fly around. I'll find a couple mushrooms, or just one mushroom, and then I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, right after I cut camera, I ended up finding a few. And let me go ahead and actually scan one. I found some red ones first, which of course those didn't work. And then I found the brown one. So I'm just going to let that scan up really quick. And then we'll give it this red one and let it have that. Alright, so to get our entity tracker, okay. Just make a fermented spider eye really quick, and then I tell you what, let's go ahead and scan that, and then we'll just get a few. Just throw that in there for right now. I'll sort it later. I'll just scan that, and then we'll just buy a couple because they're only $192, so it's not really a big deal. Right, throw that in there, and just grab a couple of these, and then get our, oh yeah, we need bones. Yeah, I should have some of those. Alright, so we'll get our entity tracker. And then also while we're here, let's go ahead and get the block tracker, I think. Well, we'll need pneumatic tanks. So let me grab that. we'll get the block tracker. No. Pressure chamber wall. Oh, you know what? It doesn't take valves. Okay, let me make just a pressure chamber wall really, really quick. Now we should be able to get our block tracker. And let me put these valves up very, very quickly. So what we can do is if we open up this charging station and we hit this inventory button, it's going to open up this little GUI here, and this is where you can put upgrades into your helmet. And you can also see the status, how much air it's going to use, you know, basically what the different upgrades do here. And so we're going to go ahead and put in our entity tracker and our block tracker. Now, if you notice, this jumped up a little bit. It's not going to use any air until you start putting upgrades into it. So we'll hit back, and it's got 3.7 bars right now. We'll go ahead and throw this on. And if you notice, all these bars are filling up on the screen, and it's like charging up basically. And it's got that really, really cool sound and everything. If you notice, we can see it's scanning this chest, and see it's saying that there's like different inventories and stuff around here. If we hover over them, we can see information. If we hover over this one, it tells us the contents, and we can scroll through it without, you know, opening up the chest. That is the block detector. It can also detect silverfish spawning blocks, and it'll tell you, you know, where those are. And yeah, it's starting to lag up. You kind of probably don't want to use this too much around your base, I've noticed. At least until we get a better system set up. But if you notice, it's starting to acquire targets here. And it's going to tell us there's a bat there with 100 health. There's a chicken there with 100 health. A zombie. If we back up, for example, because I know there's a skeleton behind us. If you notice at the top left, it says a mob is targeting you. That means that something's coming after us. In this case, it was a skeleton and a spider. And it kind of gives us a warning, audio warning as well. And now it's scanning all this stuff. You know, there's a lot going on with the GUI, but let's see, what all is it scanning over here exactly? It's probably quite a few things. Yeah, all these different barrels, all these different inventories, all these pipes count as an inventory. So, you know, we can, for example, let's see, we can see how much is in all of our machines, what's in hoppers, you know, everything like that. You can also find ender portals to the end this way. If we look down here, we can see that there's a couple cows. And what's really cool is it says it can be bred. So it's going to tell you when a cow can be bred, when a chicken, and so on. Also, mob spawners. It's going to tell you how much longer till a mob spawns from that spawner. But yeah, that's about, you know, that's about everything that we need to cover on that those particular upgrades. Now, if you look in here, there's also a item search upgrade, which this one is really, really nice. You can make it with just, let me find it here, right here, just Eye of Ender, a golden carrot, and lapis. And let me go ahead and actually make one, I think. That's just, okay, yeah, I think I've got carrot. Yeah, I've got carrots down here. So we'll make one just really, really quickly. Hey there. So let's see, let me grab a carrot. And let's see, gold nuggets. This changed over. And then we're also going to need Eyes of Ender. Let's see, do I have... Okay, do I have blaze powder? Not enough, huh? Well, let me, I think I can just buy one. Yeah, whatever. Not too worried about it. Trying to make it a bit quicker for you guys. Alright. So we'll go ahead and get this one made. And this one is one of my favorites, at least until we have like a sorting system. So once we hit that point, it won't be quite as important. And this also, I will say, this isn't a helmet that I'm going to wear like all the time, because there is a lot going on screen and stuff. So, but now if we pull this out and we throw it on, if you notice, it's going to start charging up. Alright, so let's see, what's the default control for this? It's Pneumatic craft, helmet options. Let's go ahead and set it to, no, I lied, no, that works. What we can do is we can open up the item search upgrade, search for item, and let's say we're looking for PCB. Type it into the search box, and we want a unassembled PCB, so we're going to select that as the target. Now if you notice, it starts glowing green, that chest does, and it says, hey, you know, what you're looking for is right here. So, you know, we can type in, you know, pretty much anything into that. So if do I have a PCB on me? No. Okay. But if I take that out of the chest, of course, it's going to give it just a second here. And see it updated, and now it's not glowing anymore. So, but there's just a lot of little fun stuff like that you can do with the helmet. It is really nice for exploring caves, because you'll be able to see from a decent distance where chests in the cave are and stuff. You can also see when enemies are around and behind you and everything. It makes you know, that aspect, it makes it a little bit easier on you. And then also there's some other really nice upgrades. For example, this coordinate tracker upgrade. You can actually use this to set up, like, say you're running a pipeline and you want to say you run a pipe to here underground. You can mark this as a coordinate, and then say you're underground digging your pipeline, you can have it highlight the spot that you marked as a coordinate, so you can actually see it through the blocks. And then if you're in a cave, like underground or something, and you can't find your way out, you can use the GPS aspect of the coordinate upgrade and have it basically draw a line from your current position to the closest exit to above ground, or, you know, wherever you're trying to get to. So there's a lot of neat little features like that we can use, you know, to help us out and everything. Also, let's see, I wanted to cover capacity upgrades, but we should have time to make them really quick, just so I can show that to you. I'm trying to just wrap up Pneumatic craft, you know, this episode. So this volume upgrade, if you open up a machine, for example, and you look at your upgrades, it's going to add 1 liter. Okay, so it wasn't a pound, it was a liter of air capacity for each of these volume upgrades. So let's go ahead and just really quickly throw one of these together, just so I can show you how this works. And that, I'm out of lapis, aren't I? Let's see, volume. Okay, let me go grab some lapis really quick. Why does any guy always do that to me? Oh yeah. Put this in here. Alright, so that gets us the volume upgrade. Now these, you can have quite a few of these in, you know, any given machine. But for example, now that we have these upgraded pipes that can hold 20 bars of pressure, our pressure chamber wall, our pressure chamber can still only hold, you know, 5 liters of pressure. So what we can do is we can open up, or no, right here, we can just put our upgrade into there, and this should be upgraded now. Yeah. Now it doesn't seem to display it on here. Let's see. Volume. But if you look right here, we have upgraded it. It's just not showing it here. Wonder why that is. 1 liter more air capacity. But basically it's going to increase the amount of air that you can have in a machine, you know, at a time. If you notice, it changes the gauge there when we throw it in. So it's going to allow us to basically put in more air into these. So if we put enough of those in there, you know, we can have that 20 bar in here so that it's going to run quicker and be able to hold more air, and we're going to be able to balance it out easier with our system. So, and then over here, this thing, if you notice, the temperature's gotten abnormally high. I would suggest you turn that off when it gets that way. We'll probably cover next episode, I think, because it is going to take a little bit of setup. Maybe next episode, maybe not. But we'll cover ways that we can cool this down, because, you know, when it gets above, I don't know what the exact temperature is, but I know like over 500, I think. It does drop to 0% efficiency. So at this point, it's not actually producing any air pressure. Now you can cool it with ice. That's really, really slow. You can also cool it with gelid cryothium, but it will turn the gelid cryothium into stone after a while. But you can also use compressed iron to transfer temperatures, and so you can cool the compressed iron and have it connected to the machine. One really, really quick way that we're going to go over before I end out the episode, though, is you can actually make something called a heat sink, and we're going to actually craft that. That's why I went ahead and moved the plastic machine. It's nice having it there, but you do run into the issue of not being able to cool it at a decent, or down to a decent temperature. So just really, really quickly, where is it? Is it this? Yes. Okay, so that's how you craft the heat sink. And this block really doesn't take anything else special. There's ways that you can make it more effective, but for right now, we're just gonna, you know, run just the basic heat sink. And so you can just throw this on top of the block. No, not there. You're gonna, there we go. And if you notice, it says the bottom temperatures, it's starting to drop, you know. We're down to 600 degrees. It's dropping really, really quickly. Now this heat sink is not quite as effective once it gets around, I want to say it's like 100 degrees Celsius or something like that. It does start to lose its efficiency, and it's not going to cool as well, but you are going to be able to get this down to a temperature where it's actually going to produce power. So yeah, right now it's still at a 0%, so I'm not entirely sure what the cutoff point is, but you know, it's you definitely want to keep the temperature down to a reasonable amount, so which this heat sink will take care of it. Now, like I said, you could heat the plastic mixer with that, but you know, right now, you know, we kind of need it for our air pressure creation, so to keep our system, you know, built up and everything. But anyway, I think, okay, now we're building up efficiency. So as long as the bar gets down below the max level, you'll start getting, you know, a little bit of power generation. And if we were to kick this on, it would pretty much cut it off as far as is the quick drop, but it will continue dropping. So we'll be able to run this constantly as long as we have that heat sink on there. And you don't want to touch it, by the way. You'll catch on fire. I did also set up in here, between now and when I cut the camera, I did set up a glacial precipitator just so that if we want to do ice, we can. It's not, that's got water. I wonder, oh, you know what? There we go. That fixes that. But that way we can make ice if we want to. But you know, I think we'll just stick with the heat sink. It works fine. But I'll show you. I'm going to do some testing because I know they've changed it. I did some testing in a creative world, and the jellied cryothium will turn to stone. That didn't used to happen that I recall, so I'll have to do some testing and try to figure out a better way that we can cool this. But because if you notice, it's starting to really slow down when it's running. But I think once the temperature gets down, it should be all right. So, and we're about to 50% efficiency. So, but anyway, I think I'm going to end the episode there. I feel like we've gotten a lot done with our pneumatic system. We still have quite a few really neat blocks to get into, like the drones, the turrets, the aerial interface is really awesome. And the minigun is really cool. But we'll get into all that over time. And the elevator we'll be getting into fairly soon. So I hope you guys are excited about that. I know I am. And if you enjoyed the video, as always, please comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's very much appreciated. And I do apologize, the episodes lately have been fairly long. It's just, I don't know, I guess pneumatic craft I get really excited about or something. So, I hope you guys join me for next episode. Hopefully next episode will be at the new base, and we'll be setting up the elevator is my goal anyway. But until next episode, take care, and I will see you then.